Welcome back to some new malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. The first story is called "He Paid Extra for It." I was a bicycle mechanic at my first job. When I was a young teen, I didn't do that typical extracurriculars. I instead chose to do pre-professional ballet and learn how to rock on bicycles. It was so much fun, so I chose to go to my local bike shop and offer my expertise for free. At this time, I was 12 years old. While there, I worked up to being able to run the shop all by myself. Naturally, I then had the ability to answer the phones. Many times, people on the other line assumed I was only a receptionist and in turn asked for a mechanic. I would explain that I was a mechanic and ask how I could help them. Typically, I got a pleasant response, followed by the question. But one time, this man insisted he talked to a mechanic even after I tried explaining to him that that was me. He then got very upset and said, "No, I want to speak to a man." I said okay and walked the phone over to the owner and told him the situation. The owner was an extremely sweet man that became like family to me over the 9 years I had worked there. After hearing what was going on, he frowned and answered the phone, saying, "Sir, if you would like to speak to a mechanic, she is my most experienced." With that, he handed me the phone back. After the man on the other line profusely apologized to me, he asked his question. I answered without hesitation. And a week later, he went home with a brand new bike that was well over the price he should have paid for what he wanted. The next story is called "Needed Paperwork." I'm trying to go to college as an adult. But after a wicked bad separation, I can't afford the $2,300 for this course. I explained it to the financial aid person for the school, and she asked for a copy of my separation agreement to prove I was actually split. Yeah, no problem. I can do that. I sent the blank PDF of the full agreement, along with a photo of the signatures. I explained my ex-spouse and I had to print it and sign it in person, so here were the signatures to go along with the PDF. A few weeks later, I get a phone call from a woman very quickly condescendingly telling me that she had a blank signature PDF and what do I do with a PDF with no signatures? There's nothing here. Can't you see I'm trying to help you? You didn't send me anything. Her voice was so incredibly snide and rude from the get-go, and she didn't even consider there may be more than one attachment in the email. Or to read the body saying, "The signature page had to be printed. I've also attached a photo of it for proof." Nope, I was a buffoon. An absolute loon who sent a blank PDF just to waste her time and energy. I brushed it off as her having a bad day and tried to be friendly and helpful. Ah, okay. So in the same email, if you go here, there's a second attachment and that has the signatures on it. It's the exact same page as in the PDF, just printed and signed. She immediately jumped on me again. "Yeah, but you didn't send it. There's nothing here." She kept getting progressively worse at me and kept accusing me of stuff and not listening to me or letting me talk. After a few times of me trying to politely explain that I was looking at the email and that there were definitely two attachments, the agreement and the signatures, I just go, Okay, no problem. Here, I'll send it again. Do you see it now?" Well, she did. But then she goes, "This is only the signature page. Where's the separation agreement? What am I supposed to do with just signatures? Where's the rest of the agreement?" I then also politely explained that the rest of the agreement is the exact same as the PDF I sent her, which, mind you, is obviously long. This thing is in a binder. She already has the PDF, confirmed she had it, of course, but kept insisting that she wanted the printed one too, because they were different. I asked her what she means, because I say if she has the full agreement, then the only page that's different is the page with the signatures. The rest is all just text describing what my ex and I agreed on when we split. She demands why doesn't she have this one though. So I tell her I can take pictures of it if she really wants. And she's just talking over me and goes, "Yes, good, finally, do that," without actually listening to me. So we hang up and I proceeded to take a photo of every single page and email them to her. But Gmail has a limit of 5 items at a time. So after a few emails of me sending one page at a time of exactly everything she's already read, I swiftly get an email back explaining that she will get back to me whether I'm eligible or not and to stop. I may have screwed myself on getting a bursary for school, but she was already trying to deny me and wouldn't even let me talk to explain it. In the end, I got approved. I was following up and advocating for myself at the ridiculous situation. And it's all good, and it's been acknowledged, and I've gotten funding for school. And hopefully she listens to the next person when they try to tell her it's the exact same thing. The third story is called Experience is the Best Teacher. I used to work part-time for my university running student events. Experience is the best teacher. I'd participated in these events as a student, assisted in these events under someone else as part of my scholarship, and as a staff member ran the events myself. We had a new college head who was much older, approximately 50 to 60, while everyone else was in their early 20s. This woman was the most pig-headed, arrogant fool you can imagine. And despite being new, she wouldn't sit back and observe how things worked, or listen to those on our team who'd been there for years. No matter what you told her, when she announced something that wouldn't work or would cause problems, the answer was the same. I'm older, so I know best. Didn't matter if it would take you longer to do it her way, or in one case, if it was technically illegal. Of course, mistakes that we'd warned her would happen were always someone else's fault, or swept under the carpet. During event planning, one look at the schedule told me she hadn't allocated the team properly, so I sent her an email. It's probably not a good idea to have the whole team in an hour before the event, most of them standing around doing nothing. Best to get 5 or so people in for the setup, and most of the team in for running events, and hold back another 3 to 4 for cleanup. No, I want everyone in helping out equally an hour before the event. They are only meant to do 2 hours of work per event. If you have them in an hour early for a 2-hour event, that's 3 hours they'll all leave before cleanup. The slackers will slack off, and the proactives will end up doing everything. I am older than you. I know best. Just do as you are told. Cue malicious compliance. Fine, but I've got some personal business to do directly after the event. I'll handle procurement and setup, but will need to leave right after the event is over. In response, I just got, that's fine. On the day of the event, the whole team showed up an hour before the setup. As expected, 5 or so did all the setup work, while most of the team stood around on their phones. Some even got bored and wandered off. It was not the team members' fault for standing around. Only so many people can do meal prep and set up tables without getting in each other's way. 10 minutes before the event, the college head shows up and everything is running smoothly. The event was a lot of fun. Some of the team continued to wander off, some ran the events, and some participated. I was running around as a gopher, letting the college head take credit for the event in front of everyone. Not doing any work, mind you, but taking credit for it. I made sure to remind her I had to leave right at the end of the event for personal business in front of the other college heads several times. To be extra spiteful, I neglected to stop several team members from wandering off who had done no work other than stand around talking or eating, and encouraged several people who'd definitely done 2 hours worth of work to call it a night, and thanked them for their help. Forgetful me, I also didn't tell team members standing around during events to start cleaning up as things were finishing. All the free food was gone, all the games were over. Both students and team members were wandering off into the night. Suddenly, the college head to me, "Wait, where are you going? There is so much mess and we've got to put away all the tables and tidy up all the different games, but everyone has left. Yes, we probably should have saved up a few team members to do cleanup, but they've all already done their 2 hours. Anyway, as I told you earlier, I've got some personal business to attend to directly after the event, so I'll see you tomorrow. This will take over an hour to do all this on my own. I'm sorry, but I said personal business because I wasn't comfortable discussing with you or the team about what it was, as it really is quite personal, and I'm going to be late." I wandered off home for my personal business of closing all my curtains and playing Xbox in my underwear, chuckling at the thought of that arrogant woman having to do all that work by herself. The formal complaint she put in for me leaving didn't really go anywhere, as I just forwarded the email exchange to management. Sadly, pig-headed people are pig-headed because they don't learn, no matter what. I eventually quit, and a few months later was introduced to my replacement's replacement, who was also ready to quit. The next story is called Tough Luck. I work in IT. I'm a well-respected and known member of the IT party circle where I live, so to speak. I'm not jaw-dropping, but people know me, and I have a very good reputation. One of the things that I wanted at this point in my career was to give back, so I started mentoring others. Mostly, I mentored adults, or those who were closer to me in age. Career advice, how to apply for different exchange programs that can boost their professional growth and improve their speaking and writing skills. The usual. But I always was one up for the challenge and decided to try and mentor kids. It is not a secret that IT and STEM are increasingly popular right now, and more people want to get into the field. Therefore, there are myriads of bootcamps, hackathons and mentoring programs for all ages. So I signed up for one such program as a mentor. Teach kids how to code with blocks, tell them what AI is and how to develop an MVP. I must add that participation in the said programs gives kids credits and can help them get into better schools or even be eligible for some university scholarships later in life. So only pros if you ask me. The only thing is that they must upload their MVP project to the site before the deadline. I was assigned 2 teams: primary, early middle schoolers, Team A, and high schoolers, Team B. Both had 5 members, and the youngest in Team A was 8. I thought, that will be tough, thinking about Team A and how I am up for a tough time. Also, since they are so young, the parents of the kids must observe Team A meetings and my lessons, and parents equal problems. Ironically, despite my worries, even with help from the parents, the kids in Team A were doing great. But the same can't be said about Team B. A little side note, with my mentees I have 2 rules. At least 1 meeting per week. At least 50% of the group must be present. And second, communication. When I type something like tasks to do or reply to a question asked before, I ask my mentees to respond. Not even a text, a thumbs up emoji will also suffice. We all know that red status doesn't mean much when you can accidentally open an app for a second and swipe it to clear RAM on the phone. So, Team A attended all the meetings and responded to my assignments. There was a curriculum provided by a program to follow, and they were very receptive overall. Team B started okay, but then started not showing on meetings and leaving assignments read but unresponded. I understand they have a lot on their plate. Exams are no joke, but they disregarded my time, which I will not be okay with. I have a job to do, and mentoring in that program was 100% volunteering, and there was no payment for the mentors. There was, however, a very strict deadline. The middle of April, when the MVPs must be loaded onto the website for later judgment. I, even when upset, am a professional first and an angry lady second. So I wrote multiple messages asking for updates on the project, with warnings at the end that deadline is April 15th, don't miss it. After one such message, the so-called leader of Team B, Sam, wrote me this. Hi. I know that you probably mean well, but you only bother the team with those deadline messages. Can't you, chill out? When we need you, we will contact you and all. Just get off our hair and let us do our job. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings. It is what it is. After I read that message, I was like, what the heck? But I did respond that I would stop messaging if that caused tension within the team. Though the deadline is still on the 15th, and the site would reject any application that was uploaded after. Just stop, okay? Jeez, said Sam to that. So I decided, okay, I'm washing my hands out of this. Since that message, I haven't written anything to Team B. I had scheduled no meetings, updates or checkups about the curriculum or their understanding. And definitely not a written reminder of the deadline once. Deadline came. Team A uploaded their project with no issues, and their parents even bought me a nice box of chocolate as a thank you gesture. Just like the deadline came and went, Team B started bombarding chat, asking me to help because something is wrong with the site. We can't upload our project. I entered the chat and said, yes, it will not upload. No, it is not an issue with the site. The deadline has passed, so if you try to upload, it will only show you an error message. I warned you kids. No extra credits, no nothing. The rules of that program are simple, but they are hard, no exceptions ones. Team B tried to blame me, saying that as a mentor it was my job to ensure they would succeed. I reminded them that my job as a mentor is to provide support and guidance, keep track of their progress and remind them of the deadline, which, all of the above, they, via Sam, asked me not to. And since I respected their boundaries, I did exactly what they had requested. They can sulk as much as they want. I have all our communication in writing, so they don't have a leg to stand when trying to accuse me of sabotaging them in the program. Tough luck, kids. The last story is called Obscene. We had a new problematic employee start at work, and I was told to share the password for a specific tool with him. He had been a pain, and I had been warned about him by a friend who had been his boss at his last place of employment, so I wasn't inclined to make things easy for him. After I was officially told to share, he came over to me and requested the password. Being a helpful employee, I gave it to him. He then asked for it again. I then repeated myself and told him it's obscene. He walked away grumbling and went to our manager and complained. My manager then called me in and asked me for the password. I, of course, gave it to her. It's obscene. She then looked at me and shook her head while hiding a subtle smile. She then asked him if he had tried my answer. He said of course not. He refused to give it to me, saying that it was obscene. She then looked straight at him and said to enter the actual word obscene. It goes without saying that he and I never became friends. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel for more content. Let me know what you think about the stories in the comment section below. Have a great day. Bye bye.